Shannon Lamm. He is a multi-salon owner in North Carolina, known for his high energy, personality, and flair. He is truly the definition of a Renaissance man, a lover of art and music, a builder of guitars, a man who builds and races motorcycles and hot rods, and he is obviously a man who loves body art. Shannon is a popular national platform artist, serving as a member of the Goldwell Inspiration Team. And he's a favorite of students and stylists throughout the country. Shannon, I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to sit down and talk to us today. Thank you.
Thank you.
When I think of Shannon Lamm, I think of somebody who's absolutely the Renaissance man of this industry. You have done everything that I can imagine that doesn't necessarily relate to cosmetology. You were a law student who dropped out and went to beauty school. You're a guy who loves history and loves politics, and you love the world around you. But what a lot of people don't know about you is you're a motorhead. I mean, you have built and raced motorcycles, you've crashed motorcycles, you've built and raced hot rods, which you continue to do to this day, and injuring yourself while you're doing it. And also you love art and you love history, but you also love music. You've built your own instruments, you've taught yourself to play. These are amazing things to me. And I'm always been curious, how did all that stuff influence cosmetology? How did all that stuff play into your life as a successful cosmetologist?
Well, I look at all those things have a very similar pattern to them. They're all have a basic similarity of creativity, but also a basic similarity of structure. You have to have a structure to create that. And to me, I look at all those things and go, you know, how can I take these and bring them into something that I want to do for a living? I want to influence that industry, not just that industry just to be there. I want to bring my passion into that, so I'll make my workplace the way I like it. I want it to be the things that I like. And, you know, so that was one of my biggest drives, was to be, you know, hairdressing isn't just about doing old ladies, it's also about doing fun things, right? The first salon I worked at was super conservative, and then I built a very unconservative salon. And it was to be those dichotomies put together and to learn. And actually last year me and a business partner decided to expand the salon, and we literally did one in traditional conservative side and mine into the rock and roll tattoo side.
One of the quotes that I remember hearing you say on stage was that I'm not a hairdresser. Go ahead.
So when I'm not a hairdresser, I just do hair for a living.
Right.
I don't get caught up in the whole lifestyle of just being a hairdresser. Because if you do, you're stuck inside that little shell, and you need to have every influence from everywhere else to brought into that to be able to make the industry better and bigger and fuller. And you know, the only way you're going to become at the top is not from learning only from everyone else. It's taking what everyone else taught you, plus things that have never been thought about.
One of the things that I've seen you teach and talk about from the platform is about fundamentals. You believe in fundamentals. It's something that's been obviously happened in your life, in music, how you've learned chords and all those kinds of things. Can you tell us a little bit about your philosophy about fundamentals? I
did some stuff for Justin Timberlake, Save the Music Foundation, and I actually talked to them about this is how music works. Music is based on the classics. It's based on very simple concepts. Over 50,000 songs only use 3 chords. So you want to learn those 3 chords. And I said, what you want to do is you want to learn Jimi Hendrix. First song you ever want to learn. So it'll take you 2 years to learn that one song, and that's all you have. Or you learn 3 chords and you have 50,000 songs. When I first started in hair school, I had to learn the 0 degree bob, which is ideally the hardest haircut there is in the world to do, but yet everyone just blows right past it. I went over and over, so it took 6 months until my instructor finally went, that's perfect. And to me, if I learned that first one, okay, now I only have 2 more to learn. 45 degrees and 90, there are only 3 haircuts. Just like the 3 chords, there's only 3 haircuts. Those 3 haircuts could make 50,000 different haircuts and combinations. So if you just learn those, master those 3 things, you got it all. As boring as it is, eventually it'll come natural and you won't have to think about it anymore. And so I try to get people to build from that idea and the basic ideas. Kind of like I'm not an artist, but I went to learn how to, since I have tattoos, I want to know how they were done. So I went and took a class in them and learned general techniques. And they all use these basic techniques to create their art, just like we do.
Shannon, a lot of people don't know this about you, but you're a cancer survivor. You went through a really tough time in your life. I'd love to hear your story about how that influenced you and what that did, what that did for your life.
Yeah, it was a weird time actually, but it was, I think for me, it was a very positive time. I got to see all my friends in the industry, including work, and then on the road. Been on the road since I was 19, so people I've met on the road, and you think maybe just acquaintance, or say, oh, it was really nice meeting you, and not realize that when I got sick, they all pitched in together and did benefits for me and helped me raise money for myself, because even though you're sick and your insurance pays for it, your house bill's still there, your house payment's there,
Big time.
Everything. I had a mortgage, I own a salon. I mean, I had to have everything still going, even though my life basically stopped at that point. But what got me through all of it was thinking, the only thing I have to do is I just have to get better before I can worry about everything else. That's what I have to do. And my doctor has already told me, this is what you're going to do, this step, this step, this step. And so I took the largest thing first. And when this is the largest thing in my life right now, I can lose my house, I can lose all that, because you know what? You didn't have it to start with. You didn't have that 20 years ago. You didn't have the car, you didn't have anything. You built up from nothing then. The biggest thing is to get through this and then grow again, it'll be fine. And so I think that was a big thing that it taught me, and that the industry to me became a lot smaller. It became a lot more friendly and a little bit less corporate.
Right.
And it became like a bunch of my friends. And I think that's the key in hairdressing, is that we have to realize we're all doing the same thing. We're all wanting to have fun. We're all in this to be who we are, be individuals, and get along with each other. And I think that's the beauty of that. I got to actually see it.
Shannon, that must have been a really tough time in your life. Things happen, I'm sure, that you didn't expect. I mean, any kind of surprises during that time?
Yeah, absolutely. So good surprises too.
Good.
It's not always bad. A friend of mine I've known since I was like 18 maybe. I was brought to New York with a friend to do a show and for a company, and met him and thought he was kind of a crazy, kind of unusual guy. He's from Switzerland, and I thought, well, this guy's pretty cool, he's kind of wild. And we started hanging out quite a lot, and he became a pretty famous hairdresser, been on every magazine cover, and we'd see each other and we would goof off, and we'd fight over models over the years, and I'd take him out, and he'd skip out on the bill, and just
I have friends like that too.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
I think we all do, right? And just over the years, just hanging out with him, being like, oh, you gotta watch him with the bill, that's funny, Michael Card. And so one day I go to the mailbox, and I'm just, my daily trot to the mailbox, which took me about a half an hour to do, because I move 0.5 miles an hour with my bald head and my little outfit on. And
Good therapy, though.
Yeah, it's good therapy. I had to get out of the house. I get to the mailbox and just see what bills are going to be there, and I'm like, oh God, just add up another bill. And I pull out something, and I see it says Karg on it, which is a scissor company. And I'm like, Karg, oh, it's Michael Karg's company. That's really cool. No return address, nothing. And I open it up, and there's a check. And it was a check for $1,500. And I thought, well, all those years of drinks, that was a really nice thing for him to do. For someone to come out, to not tell me they were doing it, to not do anything, and just show up. And I've seen him since then. He's never mentioned it, never said one word about it. And to me, that's what our industry's about.
The unexpected things.
Absolutely. And how some people go out of their way just to help you. I think that's a really nice thing.
We're in a fraternity. The cosmetology industry is a fraternity. And
Absolutely.
It's a bunch of people that really want to help each other.
I mean, think of how many things that we do, how many benefits we all do all over the United States for cancer, for animals, for all these things that we all do for free.
Right.
And that just shows you how great our industry actually is.
I'm really interested in how you got to your professional peak at this point, and I'm curious about back in beauty school. What kind of things challenged you back in cosmetology school? I mean, everybody has challenges. I mean, there's not a single person that goes to school, and by the way, it's not just cosmetology school, any school, that doesn't have challenges and things that want to derail them from their chosen profession. What were your challenges?
I think my largest, and I think nowadays it's the same thing, is just money, having money. For me, I'm very independent. I lived on my own in high school, so I really didn't want parents to do me a lot of help. I wanted to prove to them that I could do it. And so I lived an hour and a half away from school, and I trucked in every day and trucked out, and I lived in a little trailer.
An hour and a half each way?
Each way, so 3 hours.
That's 3 hours of your day was in the car.
It gave me a lot of time to think too, to really think about things and be like, why am I doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Why do I live in a trailer? Why am I willing to be broke? Why am I working in a really horrible restaurant at night, delivering food, doing all these things for, I think the minimum wage then was like $2.45 an hour, which stinks. So I get a paycheck for $100. And I'm like, just struggle through that. Why am I doing that? And the end result was, if I take everything and I do all this now, then later will be much better. And in my first 2 years of working, actually, I was an assistant, and I made minimum wage, and I did the same exact thing. I drove an hour and 15 minutes one way there, an hour and 15 minutes back, lived in the same trailer, and just struggled my way through it. And I am proud to say I did not miss one entire day of work or was late.
Did you ever think of quitting?
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you?
I remember I got married in that point in time. I think it was like 1992. I got married, and my wife was German and was very strong into doing things, was trying to keep me going. And I remember getting up to go to a meeting at 7 in the morning, so that means I had to leave the house at like 5 something, and I'm not an early morning person at all.
Neither am I.
So I think I woke up at 5 o'clock and I had to wear a suit. I had a suit on, and I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. I can't go and shampoo hair for someone anymore. I want to do hair. And then I'm like, man, she's like, you just
got to do it.
It'll be okay.
Yeah.
And no less than 2 months after that, for some reason, I started getting clients, and next thing I know, I'm not assisting anymore, and I was being booked. And I'm like, this is wild. I almost gave up right at the end, but then I made it through.
I am so proud that you did that. And think this whole incredible career would never have happened if you didn't stick through it. That's fantastic. Shannon, you are a salon owner. You have 2 salons in North Carolina. You obviously hire people. You have helped build careers of people in your employ. What do you look for? I mean, what is it that you're looking for people to come and work for you?
To me, I mean, really, it's not how someone looks. It's not age. It's not race. It's none of those things. It's really not a factor in our industry. It's the passion of learning. If you want to learn and you want to have fun, that's what I look for. I look for fun people. If you're fun, you're going to learn a lot. If you're having a good time, you're going to learn. And that's what I want them to realize, that, even when it's fun, it takes dedication. I had one of my guys, one of the very first guys I ever taught when I opened my very first salon. He was my assistant for 2 years, and I kept telling him, his name's Leslie, and I was like, Leslie, if you keep going, just keep going. And I'd teach him stuff, and I'm like, I was very strict on him, very hard on him. He became a hairdresser. He moved to Atlanta, and he quit doing hair. He called me 3 years ago and said he started back doing hair again, and he said that was his greatest inspiration. And to me, that was the greatest thing. Being like, I started him out of school. Now he's an awesome hairdresser. And I'm like, to me, that passion, it never let up. Right. He had a little slump in there where he didn't want to do it, but it all came back because he had that passion for it.
Exactly.
So to me, that was an honor to be told that.
It's not easy to get somebody who really wants to learn. I mean, they take away their preconceived notions, and they're an empty vessel. They're saying, show me, help me to do it.
I think a lot of people, I think they start off as, when you start in the hair industry and you're kind of fashionable, you start off like the hot rod. You're wide open, you're ready to go.
Right.
When you need to realize you need to calm down a little bit. When you race cars, you don't race the fastest one first.
Right.
You start off with the slowest one and you build up because your ability gets better. And I think that's the hardest thing, is to keep that passion they have as a hot rod.
Exactly.
But realize, to get back to this hot rod, I just got to take a break for a bit, start at the bottom and start back up again.
Shannon, I'm telling you, I've really enjoyed our conversation. I am blown away. I've learned things about you that I didn't know. I hope people that are watching this are able to get the kind of inspiration from this that I have. Thank you.
Thank you
very much. It's my honor.